Hello, welcome back. Let's continue our journey through the world of glamour with correct grammar, because in public, correct grammar gives you good glamour. And now, if you look at the grammar topics, and if I ask you a question, which grammar topic do you find it difficult? The answers automatically varies, because whichever topic you find difficult will be the topic you think is difficult. But let me go directly into the thing. Can you tell me any sentence? Can you read any sentence? Can you speak any sentence without a particular topic? Just think tenses. You can't. There is not even a single sentence in English which can be written, read or spoken without usage of tense. So I guess tense is the most important topic, and today we are going to deal with that topic. Tenses, of course, is not a reason for tension. It's a very easy topic, but I know many find it very difficult at times to deal with tenses. Let me ask you, if you go to the root, what does tense say, or what does tense do? Let's go to the roots. The word tense comes from the Latin derivation tempus, which means time. So tenses simply shows when an action is done, or when an action was done, or when an action will be done. So that is the function of tenses. Now, basically, if you go, we have to say the number of or the kinds of tenses we have. Simple question. How many tenses do we have? Okay, many of you say many different answers. So basically, let's say we have basically 3 tenses, or we can do an action in 3 different situations. Number 1, present tense. 2, past tense. 3, future tense. Whatever is done now is present tense. Whatever is done in the past is a past tense. Whatever we are going to do is in the future tense. Now, there's a problem. If there were only 3 tenses, it would have been easy. But then each of these tenses is again subdivided into 4 each. There comes a problem. So totally it comes to 12 tenses. Now let me ask you, how many of you can say these 12 tenses in order without much delay? My previous experience tells me that many find it difficult. In fact, many. Whichever classes they study, whichever stage they are in. But let me spend a few minutes or few seconds and I will let you know all the 12 tenses in order. Okay, now there is a new topic which talks about 14 tenses, and the 2 new ones, I think I will talk about it later. First, we are going to talk about the first 12, the basic 12 tenses. Now, let me teach you how to remember these 12 tenses. First, you have to learn 3 tenses: present tense, past tense, and future tense. If you remember these 4, I am going to teach you another 4 words or phrases. So first we have to know 3 words, 3 tenses, very easy. So which are they? Present, past, future. Now we are going to add or learn a few more new words and we are going to mix them. Then we are going to get all the 12. The 4 phrases or words that we are going to learn are simple, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous. Yeah, tell me. Simple, continuous, perfect and perfect continuous. Now if you mix one tense with these 4, you get 4 tenses. For example, let's take present. And these 4, which are the simple, present, present continuous, present perfect, present perfect continuous. So those 4 words are added to present. You got 4. Similarly, take past tense and add 4 these. Past, simple, past, continuous, past, perfect, continuous. Similarly, future. Take future, simple future, future continuous, future perfect, continuous. So these are the 12 tenses traditionally we learn. The 2 new tenses which they talk about is emphatic present and emphatic past. Okay, let me not deal with that now. We will deal it later. So having learned all the 12 names of all the 12 tenses, let's deal with one by one. What does tense show? Tense simply shows the time of the action. Whether the action was done in the past, previously, now, present, or later, that is future. So it will tell when an action was done. Okay, now let's start with present tense. And what are the 4 sections in present tense? You know them. Simple present tense, present continuous tense, present perfect tense, present perfect continuous tense. Okay. Now, let's start with the very first one, simple present tense. And whenever I teach, I tell you, the word or the name looks simple, but this is the longest or the most complicated tense. So we are going to spend a few extra minutes on simple present tense. Now, whenever you have to identify a tense or you want to make a tense in a particular or sentence in a particular tense, you should know the structure of the sentence. Okay, let me teach you that. So first, let me tell you simple present tense. I start with an example. And always I use my favorite example. Rama eats a mango. That is my favorite sentence and example whenever I teach, because I like mangoes and I like the name of Rama. Now, Rama eats a mango. This is a simple present tense sentence. How do we identify it? The structure will tell you a simple present tense should have subject plus V1, that is verb in the first form. So whenever you want to identify, whenever you want to find out a simple present tense sentence, or you want to make a simple present tense sentence, just follow this structure of sentence. I call it formula. And the formula for simple present tense is subject plus V1 structure. So people have a doubt. What is this V1? V1 is nothing but different forms of verb. Now, how many forms of verbs are there? Well, there's a contention actually. Some say 6, some say 5. We are not going to deal with that. We are going to basically talk about first 3 forms of verbs: V1, V2, V3. V1 simply means the present form of the verb. For example, eat. V2 refers to past form of the verb, that is ate, for example, and V3 is past participle form, that is eaten. So V1 is present form, V2 is past form, V3 is a past participle form. So that is the reason whenever I give you the formula or the structure of the sentence, I'll be telling V1, V2 or V3. So remember what are these. Now when do we use this simple present tense? What time is shown? Very simple. Simple present tense shows an action of the present or the now, but the complication is that it does not say whether the action is continuing or completed. So, simple present tense shows an action of the present time without telling whether the action is completed or continuing. So, that's it. But now here comes, in English grammar, a number of mistakes can be made if you use simple present tense wrongly. So there are particular situations where the grammarians say only simple present tense should be used. So here we are going to talk about usage of simple present tense. There are many. We are going to talk a few important among them. The first one is simple present tense is used always to talk about the universal truth. I suppose you have a doubt what universal truth could be. Universal truth is something that happens in that way that cannot be changed. It's called universal truth. Let me give an example. The sun rises in the east. The universal example that they give, because it cannot be changed. So whenever we talk about simple, universal truth, only simple present tense should be used. Another usage of simple present is a habitual action. What do you mean by a habitual action? Habitual action is an action that is done at regular interval. Not necessary that you should do daily or you should do once in a week. So whenever it is at frequent regular interval, if you do an action, it comes under regular or habitual action. And whenever we refer to habitual action, only simple present tense should be used. Let me give an example. He goes to school every day. A habitual action. Then comes newspaper headings. Usually it is introduced in simple present tense. For example, now Prime Minister Modi declares lockdown. Declares, simple present tense is used there. Then comes, when we introduce a quotation, we have to introduce it with simple present tense. For example, Keats says, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever." Says, simple present tense. Then we talk about a vivid narration. When we want to describe something of the past in a clear way, simple present tense is preferred so that it gives vividness of narration. If you give an example, let's talk about a war. The king gets onto his horse, he charges towards his enemy, draws his sword and pierces it through the heart of the enemy. Every sentence we use simple present tense. So we can actually see in front of our eyes that something is happening. So that is the purpose of simple present tense for the narration. Then, whenever we talk about a fixed event in the future, something that is going to happen for definite, for example, always we see the notice board, the school reopens on 12th of June. Reopens is in the future, but simple present tense is used, reopens. Then another thing is, whenever an exclamatory sentence comes using here and there, compulsory simple present tense should be there. For example, here comes the hero of the movie. Here comes, simple present tense. Then whenever a running commentary is given, simple present tense is used. For example, Sachin takes the bat and he hits it and the ball is up and it's going to be 6. So simple present tense. So these are, mainly we can talk about the uses of simple present tense. Still, simply simple present tense is not over. There is another thing where we make a mistake is, sometimes we find yes or es is added to the verb. And why? For example, I said in the previous example, he goes to school every day. Why goes? Now if I say I go to school, we go to school, you go to school, he goes to school, they go to school. So for everyone we said go, but for he I said goes. Why? So here a concept should be introduced, that is persons. I don't know whether you know or not regarding the persons. In English grammar, there are 3 persons. First person, second person, and third person. Now, who is his first person, who is his second person, who is his third person? Let me just give you in gist. First person is a person who talks. Now, second person is a person to whom the first person addresses. And the third person is anyone other than the first person and second person. So all the others come under third person. Here we are. So now for each person there is singular and plural. Let me give a table. For example, first person singular, I. Okay, there are different cases. Subjective case, objective case, nominative case, etc. We will not go into that. It will be give you the bare structure of the persons. So first person singular is I and first person plural is we. Singular is I, plural is we. Second person singular is you and plural also is you. And comes the third person. Third person singular is he, she, it, that, this, and any singular noun. They come under third person singular. So you should remember this, because for each tense, whenever I talk about auxiliary verb, I will have to refer to first person singular or plural or second person, third person, whatever be it. So you should know it. And the third person plural is they, those, these, and different cases of that, and plural nouns. So let me remind you once more the 3 persons. First person singular I, first person plural we, second person singular you, second person plural you, third person singular he, she, it, that, this, and any singular noun, and third person plural they, those, these, and plural nouns. Now, if you notice, I said I go to school, we go to school, you go to school, they go to school, but he goes to school. Now what is that? Which person is that? The S, I added ES to go because this is a rule of adding S or ES to the verb. And that is used only in this case, that is when the subject is third person singular. Remember, third person singular only, and only in simple present tense. So when these two occasions come together, this rule is applied. I repeat the rule. When third person singular is the subject of a simple present tense sentence, we should add s or es to the verb. That's it. So that's the reason why he goes to school. Rama eats a mango in our original sentence. She sings a song, not she sings a song. She sings a song. Ravi plays cricket, not play cricket. So remember this rule too. So now this is almost the end of simple present tense. I suppose you understood it. So it is time now, let's go to the second tense, that is present continuous tense. As the name suggests it is in the present and the action is in continuous form. Now let me change the same example into all the tenses. So here, let me change that sentence into present continuous form. Do you remember the example? In simple present tense, we use the example, Rama eats a mango. Now you try to change this into present continuous. I guess it is Rama is eating a mango. So let's see the formula, because we said whenever we want identify a tense or make a structure of a sentence, we should know the formula. Rama is eating a mango. Rama subject, is auxiliary verb. Now, is it the only auxiliary verb that can be used in present continuous tense? It depends on the subject. So in present continuous tense, we can use any of the three auxiliary verbs, is or are or am. So Rama is, Rama subject, is auxiliary verb, eat V1, then continuous form we have to always add ing. So this is a structure. Subject plus is or are or am, one of them you have to use, not all the three together, plus V1, that is verb in the present form, plus ing or ing form. So here we are encountered with another small problem. So you have given the choice of using is can be used, are can be used, am can be used. Which one to use where? It's very simple. Now here the use of tense, the auxiliary verbs and the persons come. Now when do we use am? Am comes only with first person singular. I am eating a mango. Not with any other person. Only with first person singular. What about is? Is can be used only when the subject is third person singular. He is eating a mango. She is eating a mango. Ravi is eating a mango. Then, what about are? Are is used with all the other persons except first person singular and third person singular. For example, first person plural. We are eating a mango. Then second person singular, you are eating a mango. Second person plural also, you, all of you are eating mangoes. Then third person plural also, they are, these are, those are eating mangoes. I suppose you understood the usage of is, are, am. Now when do we use it? As the heading itself suggests it is present continuous tense. So the action is continuing in the present moment. Simple as that. So it shows an action that is taking place or continuing at the time of speaking. So that is the end of present continuous tense. Then we move on to the third tense is present perfect tense. Are you tired? I suppose no. Very interesting. Now let's give an example, that is change that sentence into this now. Can anyone? Okay, you're trying, I know. But let me give you the example. Present perfect, example for a present perfect tense is, if you change that into present perfect example, Rama has eaten a mango. Okay. So let's see the structure or the formula. What are the basic structure needed to make a present perfect sentence? Rama, subject, has, auxiliary verb, eaten, V3. That is verb in the past participle form. So when I talk about formula, I include only the the elements which are necessary. So the object sometimes comes, object sometimes does not. So I am only talking about the basic elements that is mandatory. So in a present perfect one, the structure is subject plus has or have plus V3. That is Rama has eaten a mango. Here again comes a choice. So you say you can use has or you can use have. Which one to use? Very simple. Many make mistakes, I know, but here let me make it short and tell you. Has can be used only with third person singular. He has, she has, it has, Rama has, Ravi has, not with any other subject, any other person. And have automatically is used with all the other persons. First person singular plural, second person singular plural, and third person plural. Have is used. Now when do we use it? It is used in two situations mainly. So there are minor ones. Let me talk about the main two usage of a present perfect tense. First one is, it is used when we talk about an action of the immediate past, just now completed. For example, I have just given you an example of present perfect tense. An action happened just in the immediate past or just now. And the second situation where we can use present perfect is an action that happened in the past, but time is not known. We don't know the time. For example, in your childhood, you visited some place or we saw some movie. We can say, I have seen the sound of music. In my childhood, long back, I don't know when and where, what will be. In that situation, when we do not know the exact time of the action, we have to go for present perfect. So these are the examples, this is a formula, and this is all about present perfect tense. And here comes the last one in present tense. Present perfect continuous tense. Let me start with the example. Rama has been eating a mango. Same example changed. I repeat. Rama has been eating a mango. Let's see the structure. What are the basic elements needed to make or construct a present perfect continuous tense sentence? Rama, subject, has, auxiliary verb, been is a new auxiliary, eat, V1 structure, ing for continuous. So the structure of present perfect continuous is subject plus, has or have plus, been plus, V1 plus ing form. So if you have these you have got a present perfect continuous sentence. Or you are given a sentence in present perfect continuous and you are asked to identify the tense. Just check whether these things are there mentioned in the formula. Subject plus, has or have plus, been plus, V1 plus, ing. So has, usage of has and have, already we have done it. I don't think we have to repeat it. Now, what is the usage of present perfect continuous? So when do we use it? Very simple. Present perfect continuous is used to show an action that began sometime in the past and continued, and it is continuing till the present moment. And after that, okay, we are not bothered about it. So this is a basic necessity for using present perfect continuous tense. So an action should start in the past, should continue for long time till the present moment at least. Later it may or may not. For example, I can give the example. I have been teaching you tenses for 31 minutes. Or I can say, I have been teaching you tenses since. I have to say the starting time. So there comes a little litigation regarding usage of since and for. So I said, I have been teaching you tenses for 31 minutes. So here I am talking about the total duration of the action. So how long did I teach you? So the total period of time. Whenever I use the total period of time, I have to use for. And then, when do we use since? Since should be used when I use the starting point of an action. For example, I have been teaching you tenses since 8 a.m. or 8 o'clock in the morning. So remember, so for is used when we talk about the total duration of the action. Since is used when the starting point or starting time of the action is mentioned. So let's recap. Till now we have talked about 4 tenses in present: simple present, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous with its example, formulae, and usage of it, the definition of it. So if you want be thorough with tenses, you should know the name of the tense, one example, and the formula of it. Okay, definition, if you know, it's well and good. And for today's session, I'm going to stop with it. Remaining tenses we'll discuss later. Now, your task is not over. I'll be asking a few questions after this, and then I expect every one of you answering it by the stipulated time. Till then, till the next class, next session, see you. And then don't forget, it's time of Corona. Take care, stay home, stay safe, and then don't venture out and put your life in danger. Thank you for watching and being with me till now. Thank you. Bye bye. See you again.